to the Italian Football Podcast.
Rafael Leao's goal crisis. We discussed this on Monday's show briefly about Rafael Leao's goal drought this season. Leao has scored just 3 goals in Serie A this season, and he hasn't scored in Serie A since September. It's coming up almost 5 months since his last goal in Serie A. And worst of all is the stat, which I read out on Monday, that's been doing the rounds a lot, which is that Rafael Leao has only 9 shots on target this season.
It's 10 now after the Napoli game.
Is it 10 now? Okay,
Yeah.
which is astonishing. It's a stat which you think has to be wrong, and then you check it, and it's not wrong.
Right.
So Nima requested that he wanted to do a little bit of a deep dive on this to produce a theory on what is going on with Leao and his goal scoring problems. What is the cause of it? So Nima, tell us your theory of Leao.
I've been looking into this. I've been thinking and mulling it over about what it is that has changed, because something has clearly changed about Rafael Leao. And I started diving into some of the underlying statistics on a site called xvalue.ai.
Nima, what have I done to you?
No,
What have I done?
No, you haven't done anything. I like statistics.
Look what they did to my boy.
No. Listen, I'm a scientific. I'm an academic. I love science. Okay, what I don't like is when stupid people use statistics as some sort of magical. Well, the numbers say it, so it must be this. No, statistics are, like any science, a tool to help us describe and better understand reality. And so what I did was I started looking into more in the build-up phase. And if you look at his stats this season compared to that season, especially what is known as expected threat. An expected threat is calculated by basically you lay a value surface over a football pitch and you divide it into grids or zones. And each zone has a value assigned to it based on how likely a goal is to be scored from that zone. And then players can be credited for moving the ball from zone to zone, right? And it's accumulative as well. And I'm started looking then into Leao's underlying in the build-up phase. His expected threat is this season, and again, it's accumulative. Last season it was 5.88. This season it's 3.64. His expected threat from passes is 1.96 this season to 3.21 last season. His expected threat from passes, meaning the threat that he poses when he gets a pass and moves between the grids, is 1.96 compared to 3.21. His expected threat from ball carries is 1.68 to this season to 2.67. Now, if you compare that to other players in the Serie A in terms of expected threat carries when he's carrying the ball, he's first in the Serie A this season at 0.1, and he was second in the Serie A last season on the same number, 0.1. His expected threat passing, he's second in the Serie A this season. He was third last season. His expected assist, again, these are accumulative, is already at 5.04 to 6.63 last season. His expected assist from open play is 5.03 this season already to 6.61 last season. But his expected goals, it's the same as his expected goals non-penalties, meaning without penalties. Last season was 11.66. This year it's 3.52. And his shots total his shot total and and also on target, 41 shots taken, 10 on target this season, 92 shots taken last season, 29 on target. But if you compare Leao to Leao, his chance creation per 90 minutes is the highest it's been in the last 6 years. His assists per 90 minutes is the highest it's ever been these last 6 years. Attempted passes per 90 minutes, highest it's ever been in the last 6 years. Pass success ratio, highest ever in the last 6 years. Attempted crosses per 90 minutes is the highest ever it's been in the last 6 years, and it's double that of last season. His cross success ratio is the second highest it's ever been. His dual success win ratio, highest it's ever been. His aerial success ratio, highest it's ever been in the last 6 years. So there is definite growth here. His attempted dribbles per 90 minutes, it's the third highest it's ever been. Shots, but then again, dribble success ratio, fourth highest. Shots per 90, second lowest ever. Shots on target, lowest ever. Shot success ratio, lowest ever. Goal conversion ratio, lowest ever. Goal per 90 minutes, lowest this season of the 6-season span. To me, it shows what you see. It's after 23, 24 games in the Serie A, it's no longer just a pattern. It's becoming it's no longer just a by chance. It's a clear pattern here, right? This isn't an issue of Milan attacking down the right more than previously. This is not an issue of Leao having a bad season in front of goal. It's clear. It's clear as daylight to me what's going on. Pioli is clearly ordering Leao and is working with Leao to develop his passing, his read of the game, his understanding of the game, his creation, chance creation, his vision, his split vision, to make him a much more complete player. And I think the end goal here is this season they develop his ability to understand and create more, and then next season is to add the finishing to his game. That means that clearly Milan think that Leao's biggest problem has been all of the things I mentioned. And I think it can be summarized as what they say, intelligence on the pitch. They think he is a raw and rough diamond. They want him to develop those other aspects, which they think will make him more of a complete player, so that next season, it's about applying everything he's developed this season with what he naturally has in terms of the drop of the shoulder, going past, and the finishing, which I think he has. I mean, let's remember, Leao is not the finished product, just like Lautaro wasn't the finished product. And it's taken Lautaro about 3 to 5 years to reach this level as a striker. Leao is a work in progress. And I think starting next season is when Milan will try to marry the development from this season to the goal output from previous seasons to have that kind of Lautaro explosion, if I can call it that. And look, I'm not comparing Lautaro with Leao. I'm just using Lautaro as an example of a player who's undergone this journey, a percorso, and is ready now, whilst Leao maybe is 1 or 2 steps behind down Leao's own journey as a winger. Which brings me nicely to my final conclusion. Maurizio Sarri has to take over at Milan next season from Pioli, because the next step in all of this for Leao, with Sarri in charge, with the false nine or the triangulars and the geometry that Sarri plays, that will turn Leao into a goal-scoring monster, together with everything else that he does. That's my conclusion on this.
Wow, yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting theory. The stats there are very telling, actually, and they definitely paint a story. So the only thing I would say in comeback to that is I think you're definitely onto something, for sure. Certainly when we look at the number of shots he's having, and he's attempting to do other stuff rather than shoot, and rather than attack and be so direct as he was in the past. He's trying to mould other parts of his game. So I think you're onto there. The only thing that doesn't really marry up is his shot success rate, which has plummeted this season.
He's not taking very many shots, though. That's the thing.
He's not taking as many shots.
Position. That's the thing. I mean, to me, it becomes clear as day. I think the goal against Napoli is just so instructive. I mean, it's actually that kind of made it all click for me. Well,
he had 3.41 shots per 90 minutes last season, and 3.33 in the Scudetto winning season. And this season, he's having 2.33 shots per game. So he is having a lot less. He is having fewer shots, and the number of shots on target per 90 has gone from over 1.07 last season per game per 90, and 1.31 in the Scudetto season to 0.57. So I mean, it's half. So there's definitely there is definitely truth in that, but the shot success rate plummeting shouldn't really be. Well, it shouldn't have anything. That's the only thing that doesn't marry up with what you're set with.
I think it does, because I think when a player isn't ready, and this is also another, this is my perspective. If a player is developing, and that's clear that Leao is developing. If a player is developing and you're wanting him to focus on another aspect of his game, and you're basically working on that in training all around, I think it's only natural that other aspects will suffer.
Yeah,
because
that's
he's not
fair.
the finished product.
That is fair. That's fair. But the only thing I would say is, I'm looking at the graph now. This is a fantastic website here.
It is.
The shot success, Rafael Leao's shot success rate has gone down every single year for the last 4 years. It was 46.5%, his shot success rate in 2020-21. Then it went down to the Scudetto winning season to 39.1%. Then last season it went down to 31.5%. And then this season it's a joke. It's 24.39% this season. So every single season his shot success rate has gone down, and that includes the last 3 seasons when he this change of game that you're talking about wasn't present. So while I think your theory is definitely valid, I think they are trying to improve his other areas of the game. I do think that still that it's concerning that his shot success rate, despite the fewer shots he's having, and despite the fact that maybe he is training less on that side of the game, that's still concerning for me. I think that is very concerning, and also we do have to, if it is true that they are. I think they are definitely trying to improve his other areas again. Maybe they're overdoing it because it shouldn't come at the expense, or completely come at the expense of his goal.
But if you look at Milan,
because that's important.
It's very important. But if you also look at Milan, look, Pulisic is scoring more. Giroud is scoring on par with what you can expect. You're getting goals from other areas of the pitch. I think again, Milan is a work in progress. I think it's clear that they're building him, and once they're working towards a target. I don't think they're there yet. Just like with Juve, they're further down in their project, but they're not there yet. And this is just another aspect of that. I think they're basically just working on him, grinding him to improve his intelligence on the pitch, to really be Milan's number 10 with everything that entails. And that's why I say that I've been floating the idea of Conte to Milan, and I do think Milan could play Conte football. But then they have to sell Rafael Leao. This Rafael Leao that they've been building this season and to where they want him to be. You bring in Antonio Conte with his Calcio Verticale, very rigidly controlled. I have serious doubts whether that's worth keeping Leao for. Then you might as well just sell him and bring in players that Conte wants. Or, which is the conclusion I've come to, you go after Maurizio Sarri. And you continue developing the project that you've been working towards for quite some time, and Leao will be the ciliegina sulla torta. He literally will be the cherry on that cake in the Sarri system, cutting in towards goal from that left flank. Then he'll be the Henry that we've all saw. That you were the first actually to say, even before Pioli. I remember you said it. You drew comparisons. Then he'll really be that player.
Yeah,
and I think he will fulfill his potential. I really, really think that.